Javant, to kick this podcast off, I wanted to ask you, I know Dr. Fuhrman, my dad, which is cool for me, is a big inspiration to you. Can you explain to us a little bit about your health journey and why that came to be? How did you even come to know of Dr. Fuhrman?
Yeah, well, my journey is very similar to a lot of people's. Unfortunately, I was just doing what Americans do, eating what Americans eat, and it led to me having what Americans have, which is, diabetes and, high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic, pre-hypertensive. And because so many of my family members, uncles, father had diabetes, it wasn't a big deal to me. And that's sad in hindsight. But at the time, I'd seen this around me so much that I was like, okay, I got diabetes. I just got to take my metformin. I got to, keep a banana with me in case things, like I see my uncles do, in case my blood sugar drops too low, and just be ready. And then on my mom's side was hypertension. And so I said, okay, all right, well, I just take my meds. I'll be fine. It was no big deal. But then a little bit later, they were diagnosing me with lymphoma, or they were about to. I had some swollen lymph nodes, and they thought I had lymphoma. And a biopsy was scheduled. I was literally in the chair about to get the biopsy. Guy had the needle, not trying to be dramatic. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do this. I got to try something else. Because I had heard from a doctor, I think it's Norman Francis, that when you get a biopsy, it can release some of the cancerous cells from that site, and they can travel and metastasize, and you can have issues elsewhere. So fear is what was ruling me. And so I said, I got to do something. I got to get healthy. This is not the way. I got to figure it out. And so I started Googling, like everybody else. I started Googling how to get healthy, and I was hearing all this information, but, people were having different opinions of what, health is and how to obtain it.
Sure.
I tried Paleo with Mark Sisson. I tried a lot of different things. And it's so weird that now I've done probably, 30, 40 interviews. It's going to be weird to say this part because I've said it 30 or 40 times, and now this guy is sitting right here. But it wasn't until I came to Dr. Joel Fuhrman where I had an epiphany moment. The light bulb went out, and I just said, who is this guy? It was something different about this man, and everything he said resonated with me, here and here. It resonated with me. I just recognized truth. And so it was Dr. Fuhrman's delivery and very, facts, no, fluff, no agenda. He wasn't trying to sell me something at the end of it. He was just giving information. And so it was really coming to Dr. Fuhrman. I bought all his books, was reading them, watched everything online. And I started applying his principles, and that's when it all shifted for me. It all shifted.
Wow.
So.
I also.
So you obviously, did the program, and then you lost weight, got rid of your diabetes, got rid of your high blood pressure, and the lumps you had on your neck and your body went away too?
They did. Absolutely. So I was worried about that. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to go back. Now, I didn't go back to get the biopsy, but I went back and they did an ultrasound this time, and they were like really thoroughly looking, and they said, no, I wish I could timestamp it, but I wasn't thinking I was ever going to be telling the story. But maybe 6 months to a year later, I went back, and I went to UNC initially, went back to Duke, and they looked at it and said, you look fine. And I felt better, and they weren't swollen anymore. Sure. And so I attributed to the diet. I can't document that, but I know what I felt.
Well, we don't know if you had lymphoma, but I had, in my practice over the last 30 years, I've had several people with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma with lumps, the groin, their neck, that were actually biopsied as lymphoma, that when they followed the program, no treatment, no chemotherapy, no radiation, they just did the program, and the lymphoma melted away. Took about 9 to 12 months, it just disappeared. And I've had real cases of lymphoma that reversed themselves. So this works for lymphoma.
Well, I certainly feel like that's what happened. I don't like to say things I can't document, but that was my experience. I was right there, and they were telling me that. I was feeling them. They were seeing them. And I know, everything now, all by any measure, resting heart rate, A1C, any measure, I'm in, a healthy person. And at the time I wasn't. And again, it was your information that was the catalyst for me to get healthy.
Well, we're so pleased that you're in good health, and you're able to share your wisdom too now with other people. So that's really fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's like what we do is so rewarding to us, because so many times we've given information that other people now have radiated that information out to people in their groups, and they've expanded our work by bringing it out to other people. Like, for example, Dr. Stoll, you know who he is?
I do.
He brought his kids in to see me in my medical practice, and I taught him about nutrition and about health through taking care of his family's health as the family doctor for his family. And over a period of years, he became a health enthusiast and nutritarian advocate, and he started a whole plantrition group and had his own and developed, and now he's reached thousands of people on his own.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the spark grows fires, you know?
Yes.
Which is so important because I think nutrition on the internet now, where everyone has a different view and is almost telling you something different, it is really important to all have a consistent message that really makes sense. Because I always say, with my perspective, I mean, I was raised this way. I didn't really have a choice, but it makes so much sense to me and I feel so healthy. I want everyone to experience that. So it's so nice hearing from someone who was not raised by Dr. Fuhrman and has a similar experience where it really rings true.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
super cool. Okay, so as you're starting your health journey, did you have any turning points or did you make mistakes? Was it hard for you? Were you like, this is really difficult to eat all these vegetables? Were there any hiccups?
Absolutely. It was very difficult. It wasn't seamless. And again, I'd go back to Dr. Fuhrman's teaching. He even said that it'll take a while for your taste buds to recalibrate.
Totally.
I mean, because we're addicts, right? We grow up eating a certain way and your taste buds get used to those tastes, those flavors. And when you subtract them, it feels like deprivation. It feels like, oh, I'm not eating what I want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so it did take some time, but, for me, fear was a factor. And so nothing was going to stop me, nothing anyone said or any ridicule was going to stop me. But I did have some hiccups along the way. And, it's a little learning curve when you're cooking things a certain way and then you're not using the salt, and you're not using the oil, you're not using, it's difficult to learn. And that really is why I decided to make my cookbook, is to reach back to people and empathize and say, hey, I know it can be a struggle. And so I try to make foods that look familiar to people so they still feel that sentimental attachment when they look at that lasagna or when they look at that burger, they look at whatever. It's like, that looks like what I eat.
Yeah.
You sure that's mushrooms? You sure that doesn't have some, and so it really, really does help people transition.
So how did you get this background in knowing how to do this? I mean, where did you learn how to take food that's healthy and make it taste good and look like real food? Did you have conventional chef training, or how did you learn all this stuff?
No. I always say it's powered by passion. I went in there and, when you're passionate about something, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel tedious. I love food, man. You saved me. I mean, and I mean, I've said that to so many people. You saved me. Your information saved my life, and then the food also saved my life. And so I feel in debt. I want to go in there and figure out.
So you took a lot of my information, and then you said, okay, I'm going to figure out how to make it even taste more palatable for the masses. So you took the information, some of my recipes, some ideas, and then you put your own flair on it.
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing, you were gracious enough to endorse my book, and we had a conversation about salt. Because I'm oil-free, wheat-free, refined sugar-free, no rice and white rice in my recipes. And I am salt-free personally, but I find it's the one thing that really, really makes it difficult for people to let go of. And so in all my recipes, I'll suggest an amount of salt, and then I'll say, or to taste. Right. And if you're someone who's salt-free, it's the easiest, alteration to make. You just leave it out. Just leave it out.
Maybe over time, as people start liking the food, their taste buds change, they're feeling good about it, and they could start to reduce the salt even further.
That's right. That's right.
Which helps with stroke risk, right? That's why you want to reduce the salt a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you could definitely still add and have different ingredients that flavor things really nicely.
Yeah,
different seasonings.
I find too is that when you take out fried foods and salt, you have to be more creative. Now we learned how to use, when we were younger, we didn't have to learn how to use herbs and spices and flavorings because you could just fry it and put butter and salt in it.
Make anything taste good.
Make anything taste good with butter and salt.
Absolutely.
Well, it all kind of tastes the same. Fried food, the times that I have tried, it just tastes the same as anything. I don't know. I'm not into it. But Javant, I also wanted to ask you, I feel like your recipes are all really simple too. They don't have a super long list of ingredients. Can you talk about that? Is that something intentional?
A lot of people say that, and I think that's true for the most part. There are some things that are more involved. I always want to be, very transparent about that, if you're making my lasagna. Because the thing is, like, for example, I have veggie ground. And so if you want to make a burrito, a taco, a lasagna, a spaghetti, you got to have that veggie ground. So sometimes it's multi-step. But I always tell people, if you prep ahead, make that veggie ground because it makes so much. The recipe that I have makes so much. You can freeze some, portion it out. So when you want to have that burrito, now it's convenient. But I also make my own wraps. So you might want to make your wraps ahead of time, but also make my own cheese. So, I'm really, really in to make your own.
Yeah.
It's not a gimmick. It's what I live. It's not for everybody. You get in where you fit in, and to what degree you want, you use those recipes to your advantage. So if you're someone who still is going to eat a little meat, or you're going to eat a little whatever it is, you can still improve your overall nutrition and your overall diet to the degree that you can. And like Dr. Fuhrman said, over time, you just try to gradually improve and improve and improve until you get to where you want to be.
You're saying you make your own wraps?
I do.
Oh, out of what? That sounds so delicious.
Well, I got a lot of them. I have an almond wrap that's actually in the book. It's amazing. I've got one that I make out of red lentils. I've got one that I make out of oats. I got one that I make out of quinoa. So wraps are easy. I mean, you can make them out of pretty much anything.
And they're
And you
not
cook them in the oven at a low temperature?
Yes, that's my new recipe. I hesitated because I hadn't told anyone. Online, the recipes that I posted, they've all been in a skillet. But I was like, some people really struggle because you're oil free. And so now how do I do this? And I said, you need a well seasoned cast iron pan. But a lot of people struggle. So my new thing is in my cookbook. I now have, and you're already on it, I have a recipe where, people can put them in the oven and it makes it way less difficult to do. So yes,
wow.
exactly.
And that's probably so much better than the ones you buy at the grocery store because it's not fortified with any
Absolutely.
extra ingredients.
Absolutely.